Hello boys and girls, in this video I'll show you a step-by-step process of impossible car restoration. After we finished the Project 13, the time to restart the Project Phoenix has just come. Project Phoenix is a Mercedes CLS 55 AMG that suffered fire damage and was imported from Germany. And what happened in previous episodes? I removed the interior of the car to be able to see the damages caused by the fire, but the extent of the damage looked much further than I expected. So I started wondering, is it possible to restore this car? That's why I've decided to accept the challenge to give a chance to this unlucky neglected beauty. After several months of restoring the car's internal body and fixing the damaged wiring, I arranged some of the car electronics and the time for the first test of the electrical system had come. Following a successful electronics test, I was able to set this car aside and start the restoration of Project 13. Макар и повечето електроника да не е закачена, това е първото пускане на ток. Because I had gained some experience with Project 13, I decided to continue from the point that the Project Phoenix was stopped. After quick inspection, I've made a plan. I had to arrange all various electronic models and wiring in the interior and the trunk like we did previously with Project 13. But before that, I have to examine the fire damages under the car. After the inspection, I've decided to remove the engine completely to be able to fix its wiring and the car's body by the best possible way. After the engine removal, I attached it to an engine stand, removed the burnt wiring and began inspecting the mechanical condition. So, I removed the valve covers, replaced their gaskets and after that removed the oil pan to replace the notorious oil pump pickup tube O-ring. We continued with replacement of the main crank seal and rod bearings inspection, and once we are done with this, I reinstalled the oil pan back. After completing all engine fixes, I reinstalled the engine wiring, rotated the engine and proceeded with supercharger installation, bringing the engine to completion. This oil cooler pipe was severely leaking and it has to be replaced. I installed a new AC condenser and cleaned all the radiators. At that moment, you realize that a drug addiction might be even cheaper. Once the engine was done, I started repairing the damaged body. I scraped the body tunnel to a bare metal with a metal brush. After that, I applied an epoxy primer and two-component acrylic paint. Once all of this cured, I applied the CM sealer and started installing all sound and heat insulating layers. After completing the body, I installed new engine mounts, mated the engine and transmission, and returned them to the chassis. I started reassembling the interior to be able to start the engine, but the heating and ventilation unit arrived broken. After I replaced the HVAC radiator and installed everything needed, I am now about to start the engine for the first time.
Така, проблемът е бензина ни на 3 години. И сега ще правим опит да видим дали ще запали, като най-важно е да имаме налягане на маслото. Първи опит, неуспешен. Подкачваме пак. Правим втори опит. Лесно летливите фракции са на майната си, защото бензина ни е на 3 години. Надявам се това да помогне, колкото да направим старт. Да видим сега какво ще стане. Налягане на маслото има. Отзаде сме богати на копеле. Климатик има, налягане на маслото има, потикнаха повдигачите, бензиновия стартера се сменя целия, хидравликата малко ще вие, защото не е обезвъздушила, но като цяло идеално.
After successful engine start, I proceeded with replacement of the damaged front door, fenders and headlights installation.
Значи, бате, искам да ти кажа, че до тук ваде бати късмет. Еги тия детайли, двата. И само искам да ти покажа нещо. Искам да видиш отраженията, как преминават от детайл в детайл. Скиеш, няма никакво пречупване. И ето ти го между вратата и предния камък. Помня. Ева ти перфектното напасването на моите кола не са толкова добре. И няма щети в боята, само полиране и ще мине цялата работа.
The front bumper and the full exhaust system finally are ready for installation. I have to do some suspension level initialization and extra coatings. Here is the restored AMG specific front engine splash shield. I tried beige AMG seats but decided to go with the grey ones. I think they match perfect to the interior and grey headliner, but unfortunately they do not match to the car's equipment. That's why I had to do an upholstery swap. The interior is almost done. For the first time in 3 years, I was able to drive this car on its own power, Project 13 and Project Phoenix together. But after that, this happened. I had to open the valve covers for a timing chain replacement. I've made my own tools and I was able to replace the chain and tensioner without removing the timing cover. And here I can show you the main causer of the noisy timing.
Дами и господа, какъв беше главният проблем? Реално нямахме нужда от смяна на верига. Старата да изглежда добре. Но обтегача, който е оригинален, има следния проблем. Видим дали сега ще успея да го репликирам. Това нещо има пружина и през тази дупка влиза масло. Когато двигателят е запален, да го опъва. Така. И съответно, да видим какво се случва в работно положение на обтегача. Оп! Чуваме ли как изпуска? Я да правим така. Ето пак. Това не трябва да се случва. Съответно с новия този проблем липсваше. Като най-вероятно съм могъл да мина само с обтегач.
The next challenge was the restoration of the burned decorative engine cover. The last steps of the restoration process involved polishing the body and installing the CLS 63 front grille. Mr. Andrei helped me with the most challenging polishing process ever. This is the final result after 3 years restoration process. Seeing it's complete without a single issue feels like witnessing a phoenix rising from the ashes.